I decided to start a new book today, and it is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. Look at those sprayed edges, first of all, and their hearts, and we kind of match. Ignore my draft, but this is my TikTok account. Go follow me. This is what I just posted. Start a new book with me, blah, blah, blah. So, I want to show you guys my reaction to reading the dedication. Yeah, that was my reaction. I'm gonna get into this book. Let's talk about it. So last night I read 30 pages. I'm on page 30 actually. So even though I started during the day, I really only read the dedication, and then I read most last night. So far, like, this is definitely a YA book, and I don't really go towards those kinds of books. I go towards like adult romance, but this is really cute so far, and I think it's like the perfect thing to read, especially right now because Valentine's Day is coming up, and it literally takes place on Valentine's Day. Like, she repeats Valentine's Day every day, so I think it's perfect. And I love how, like, right now, like, everything is going wrong, but her name is Emily, she's still so, like, she has so much confidence that things will go right in the end. It is a short book. It's really not that long. It's only, I want to say, about 300 pages, so it is not long at all. I'm probably going to just fly through this. This is my first book I'm reading by Lynn Painter, and I do like her writing. It's pretty easy to read. It's kind of like straight to the point, which I love. I love a story that just, you know, you can just fly through it. But it definitely is keeping me interested because it's like you want to know what happens next. You want to know what goes on between these two characters right here. This is Nick, and then there's Emily, and Emily right now is dating Josh. Nick is like her, what is it? Nick is her chem partner, her lab partner in chemistry at their high school, which is called Hazelwood High. And then he ends up stopping abruptly because I think a squirrel was trying to cross the street, and then Emily runs into the back of his red pickup truck, and then there's a whole issue with that, and then he doesn't even know who she is. Like, oh, do I know you? And she's like, I'm literally your lab partner in chemistry. Like, how do you not know who I am? And so this is a really good book, and I can definitely tell it's enemies to lovers because right now they're definitely enemies right now. Yeah, because how do you not know me? We literally sit next to each other. Anyway, but yeah, that is my little reading update. I'm going to read some more. I have basically the whole book to go. 30 pages. I'm just getting into, I guess, the world building, and I think it takes place in Illinois. We're still in the beginning. We're just learning about the characters, learning about the surroundings. It's February, it's cold, and there's snow on the ground, and she has this dress on with no coat. Why, I don't know, but somebody gives her a coat. Okay, let's get back into this book. I'm super excited to see how this ends, and I feel like there's going to be a big lesson. Like, you know those books where you just know there's going to be a lesson at the end? That's in here. That's in here. Can't wait to find out what it is. Like, am I reading about myself or what? Am I reading about my life? Because it feels like I'm reading about my life. Okay, let's keep going. Let's have a chat about this book. I have probably, like, what page am I on right now? I'm on 242. And it is 285 pages, so I have about 40 pages left in this book. I want to kind of talk about what I'm getting from it, because like I said, I felt like there was going to be a lesson in here. I definitely am learning some things. So as you know, Emily is reliving Valentine's Day over and over again, but for me, what I'm getting from this book is that, because I don't want to spoil it, but when you have to relive each day, you no longer like care about that day, because you know eventually it's going to be repeated again, right? And so then you eventually just stop caring about what goes on. And so she eventually has where she does the donk, which is day of no consequences. I'm trying to be very loose about what I'm saying because I don't want to ruin it, but I feel like that's nothing, you know, compared to what I could say, okay? But I just feel like she decides to be really who she wants to be, do the things that she wants to do without feeling like there's going to be consequences for it. And then she has a dilemma, like, am I just doing this because it's the donk, or am I doing this because this is really who I am? And I've definitely got the fact, like, of feeling like the lesson is do what you want to do, be who you want to be, no matter what. Like, even if the day is not going to be repeated, you know what I mean? Like, in reality, I feel like there's a big emphasis on like being yourself and not trying to live up to the expectations of others, because then you become unhappy because you're trying to fulfill everyone else around you except for yourself, and you're trying to be with certain people just because they fit into this box of your little checklist. You know, they fit into that box, but really, does that person make you happy, or are they just checking off the boxes, you know? So that is what I'm getting from this story. It's just a lot. Like, I feel like so emotional just like talking about this book. And I'm not even like at the end. I know it's coming though. I am probably going to cry at the end, and I'm already calling it because I feel like crying right now. And I only have 40 pages left. I'm going to obviously finish this today. Like, what is this? Not much at all. So I'm going to get into reading this now. And I've been making some TikToks. If I think I showed you guys my TikTok book talk already, but I've been posting on there, so go follow it. But let's get back into this book. I can't. We love Nick. And let me not forget the Gilmore Girls reference to Jess Mariano. The quote was, he gave Jess Mariano vibes when he talked about books, and the T just made it bigger, or made that bigger, like the vibe bigger, because we all know, like, in Gilmore Girls, Luke doesn't like coffee, and he always talks about Lorelai drinking coffee because it's bad for you. And I think Jess even doesn't really drink coffee. So in this book, Nick likes tea mostly, and he likes to read, but he does talk about books like Jess, and it reminds me of Jess. So now I'm just thinking of Jess when I'm thinking of Nick in the book. Okay, let's get back into it. I'm on basically the last pages. I've already cried. Let's just finish the book. Oh my gosh, there's Nick's point of view during the scene. So I finished the book and I read Nick's confessions or point of view. This was such a good book. Dare I say, I think I'm rating this book 5 stars. Because I think this was the perfect thing for me to read right now. I just felt like this was, the universe picked this book for me. Like, cause so funny. Anyway, maybe that was a pun, but I felt like this book was chosen for me to read right now, and I loved it. I ate it up. And I would have never guessed the ending. I would have never guessed the ending or the reason as to why what was happening. And I think that just made it even more better. I didn't really get emotional once, like, you know, you start to figure out things towards the end of the book and everything like that, and you know, it starts to end, and it's like I didn't really want it to end. It was such a good book. I definitely loved it, and I would recommend this book to literally anyone. And it's literally perfect because Valentine's Day is coming up. I just cannot get over the edges. Like, it's so good, and it's a paperback. Normally paperbacks don't really have sprayed edges, at least from what I've seen. So I really enjoyed reading this. If you were thinking about getting it, pick it up. You still have time. Okay, Valentine's Day is coming up. You still have time to go out and read this. But thank you so much for watching my review with me. I'll have a full review on Goodreads, which will be similar to what you've seen already. I would still stick with what I just said before. Like, I could have even used that to say at the end, but like, that's what I was getting throughout the book, and that is what it just came back to full circle. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.